that the task of the ANC was to unite the African people and out of them build a nation.
Imagine being offered freedom but refusing to leave prison. Imagine spending 27 years behind bars, watching your children grow up without you, knowing your country is changing while you remain locked away. Most people would have given up, but one man believed that freedom without justice was not freedom at all. That man was Nelson Mandela. This is the incredible story of the man who defeated apartheid, united a divided nation, and became one of the greatest leaders in modern history. Nelson Mandela was born on the 18th of July 1918 in the tiny village of Mfrezo, South Africa. No one knew that this little boy would one day become the biggest trouble the apartheid government would ever face. His father was a chief, and Mandela grew up learning African traditions, leadership, and justice. When he entered school, a teacher gave him the English name Nelson, a common colonial practice at the time.
When I went to school, the lady teacher, Miss Mtingane, asked, "What is your name?" I told him my African name, Kholiklas. She says, "No, I don't want that one. You must have a Christian name." So I say, "No, I don't have one." She says, from today, you're going to be Nelson."
As Mandela grew older, he saw something deeply wrong. South Africa was ruled by a white minority government. Black South Africans could not vote, they could not live wherever they wanted, they attended poor schools, they earned lower wages, families were separated, every aspect of life was controlled by race, and this cruel system was called apartheid. Mandela believed no human being should live under such injustice, so he studied law at the University of Fort Hare and later in Johannesburg. There he met other young activists determined to fight for equality. In 1944, Mandela joined the African National Congress, ANC.
That concerts are only a part of the African people.
He helped create the ANC Youth League. They organized peaceful protests, strikes, and campaigns against apartheid.
Because we now know we have an enemy in power. And I think that we're going to have a better opportunity of mobilizing our people.
Mandela and Oliver Tambo later opened South Africa's first black-owned law firm, defending people who faced racial discrimination, but the government responded with arrest, violence, and intimidation. Peaceful protesters were beaten, activists were jailed. Then came a tragedy that changed everything. In 1960, police opened fire on peaceful protesters in Sharpeville. 69 people was killed. Government banned the ANC. Then Mandela concluded that peaceful protest alone was no longer enough. He went underground, secretly traveled across Africa, receiving military and political training. Because of his secret movement, newspaper named him the Black Pimpernel. But in August 1962, authorities finally captured him. He was arrested and later faced the famous Rivonia trial. There, Mandela delivered one of historical greatest speeches.
I have fought against white domination, and I have fought against black domination. I have cherished the idea of a democratic and free society in which all nations live together in harmony and with equal opportunity. It is an idea which I hope to live intend to achieve. But if needs be, it is an ideal for which I am prepared to die.
Instead of execution, the court sentenced him to life imprisonment. Mandela was sent to Robben Island, a prison surrounded by cold ocean waters. Escape was almost impossible. He slept on a tin mat. His prison cell measured only a few square meters. Letters from families were heavily censored. He was allowed very few visitors. He missed birthdays. He missed funerals. He missed watching his children grow up. Yet, prison never broke his spirit. Instead, Mandela turned prison into a university. He encouraged the fellow prisoners to study law, politics, history, and languages. They called Robben Island Mandela University. Even prison guards gradually began to respect him. Outside prison, his name became a global symbol of freedom. Millions of people across the world demanded free Nelson Mandela. Government imposed sanctions on South Africa. Artists recorded songs in his honor. Students marched. World leaders increased pressure. Mandela had become the face of the struggle against apartheid. In 1985, South Africa's president offered Mandela freedom, but there was a condition: he had to stop fighting against apartheid. Mandela refused. He declared that prisoners cannot negotiate while their people remain oppressed, that freedom without justice was meaningless. His refusal shocked the world and strengthened the anti-apartheid movement. But on the 11th of February 1990, after 27 years in prison, Nelson Mandela finally walked free. Millions watched the historic moment. He raised his fist in victory, but instead of calling for revenge, Mandela spoke about peace. He urged South Africans to forgive one another and work together to build a new nation.
I stand here before you.
And in 1994, South Africa held its first democratic election in which citizens of all races could vote. Nelson Mandela became the country's first black president. Rather than seeking revenge against the former apartheid rulers, Mandela formed a government of national unity.
Never and never again shall it be that this beautiful land will again experience the oppression of one by another.
After serving one presidential term, Mandela stepped down voluntarily, proving that true leadership is about serving, not holding power.
When I told one of my advisors a few months ago that I wanted to retire, he growled at me, "Quote, you are retired." If that is really the case, then I should say, I now announce that I'm retiring from retirement.
He devoted the rest of his life to promoting peace, education, children welfare, and the fight against HIV/AIDS. On December 5, 2013, Nelson Mandela passed away at the age of 95. Nelson Mandela lost 27 years of freedom. He gave millions of South Africans a lifetime of hope. If his story inspired you, remember this: one determined person can change the course of history. Thank you for staying with me to the end. Till we see again, peace be unto you.